Today I'm going to be addressing regarding certain type of women men meet online, and these women are very frequent, and the kind of responses they give to men when men try to get in touch with them and they try to interact with them, which is often confusing to men, and they start to wonder that is it them? There's something wrong with them, or why are these women reacting in such a way, and why this conversation is not going anywhere. And I'm going to tell you what kind of women these are and why they do it, and what you can do to avoid hurting yourself. First of all, guys, don't forget to hit the subscribe button and the notification bell so that every time I release a video, my face pops up on your notifications when I'm saying hi. And it seems like this whole online sort of a dating game, or the online way of interaction, is really confusing the guys. And this is something that's just not subject to one guy. I've been having a couple of conversations over the last few weeks, and we talked about these bunch of women who are just very difficult online. They're very difficult to deal with online, and they said that we don't understand how to deal with these women because we think that it's going somewhere, and then it just sort of doesn't go anywhere. It's causing like major collateral damage to the guys, to young impressionable guys, or to decent guys who are out there searching to settle down with someone. Let me put out there these traits, signs that you need to look out for, so you don't get led on, or you don't get hurt, or you at least don't get fooled by these women online. Most of the traits come from the need for this desperate need for self-validation. Number one, such kind of women, in their bios, they have this: I'm not going to be the one initiating the conversation, and I will reply if you initiate the conversation. I will not do it. This is basically an attempt to show to the guys that, hey man, I'm not so desperate, that I'm going to go out and make an effort for you and text you and, do things like that. If you want to text me, I'll respond. But the whole idea of being in an app, in a dating app, or, out there online, is so that you guys can have a conversation and this can go somewhere. So this is one thing you need to look out for. Secondly, a lot of these women like the men to come to their Instagram, and this is specifically to increase the Instagram following. She will say things like, oh hey, you can get in touch with me on Instagram, and this is my Instagram handle. And obviously, if she'll probably end up having some 4,000-5,000 people on her Instagram, and there's no way she's going to be responding to you. So in most case scenario, like, she will be just wanting that number to be increased. So that is something you should avoid that entire initiation of conversation at all. A major problem that guys face when this interacting with women online is that they don't initiate conversations. They give closed-ended answers, and this is something I have addressed in one of my previous videos as well. This is applicable for both men and women. That please do not give closed-ended answers. You have to add currency to the conversation, otherwise it's obviously not going anywhere, right? And it's a big pressure for guys. Like, how much will he talk? How creative will the guy get? You've got to take the conversation forward. How much will he ask you? What do you like? What do you dislike? I went there. How much will he talk, right? If you see that a woman is giving closed-ended answers, or she's just replying a haha, or a lol, or that's great, and then that's the end of the conversation, my suggestion to you would be, don't waste time. Don't spend your time and energy waiting for her to respond, or pursue her a little bit and all that. I would not recommend you do that. Because if a girl is genuinely interested in having a conversation to you, she will obviously add currency to the conversation. So don't be fooled by this thing that, if she's giving closed-ended answers, you have to pursue her, you have to chase her, and because women like the chase, like that is such an outlandish and outdated idea in 2018 conditions. A huge, red signal or an alarm bell that should be ringing in your head is when you see this in the bio. Do not respond if you are so and 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 so. Like this, a huge checklist of expectations that a woman has in her bio. Please do not be a sellout and don't try to match those expectations, because I've heard of cases where guys had this long conversation with this woman, and she asked him, "Hey man, what's your height?" And like after months and weeks of conversation, she says, "Hey, what's your height?" And he said, "Hey, I'm so and so." And she says, "Oh, I don't think this can continue because I don't like guys with this height." And that was it. He was blocked. It was out. That conversation, that association was gone. So please do not try to match up the list of expectations, guys. Have self-respect and have dignity and integrity. And somebody who has so many list of expectations is never going to be satisfied with anything. Ghosting. If ghosting appears with you, basically what happens is that you've had a great conversation with someone, and for 3 days you've been having a great conversation, and 4th day you don't hear from her. 5th day, you don't hear from her. 6th day, you don't hear from her. Basically, you don't hear from her at all. That is a clear sign that you need to withdraw and this conversation's out. If, for example, after a couple of days, she comes back to you and says, "Hey, I'm sorry for not responding. I was busy, or I was out of the city, or I was majorly caught up in something," then that's something that you can probably give it a chance again. But if you see these signs that she's gone and disappeared, do not waste time. Do not spend time and energy. Just move out of that association. A really big problem that guys have been facing when it comes to dating apps is that you find a match. She's swiped you, to match you with hers, and so have you. And then you say hi, hello. And then there is no response at all. Not even a hi. I mean, why the hell did you even swipe him, to match with him? Why did you do that? I mean, this is something that if this happens with you, please, it's not worth it. Another really strange thing that this is something that I noticed with a couple of people in my circle a few years ago. Of course, they're not in my circle anymore. But what I noticed and observed is that a lot of the women, because of this whole self-validation issue, a lot of these women like to be a tease. Women would present themselves in front of the men in a way where the man would think that maybe she's interested in me, and when the time would come where he would go up and talk to her or say something to her, she would just reject him. Just on the face rejection, and she'd be like, "Hey, I never gave you any signals like that." This type of tease can be very damaging to the guy's confidence, because after a while, if this happens repeatedly, he just start wondering, he'd start questioning his ability to read people. You need to really, really watch out for women like these. And if I could speak to these ladies, I would tell them, stop playing these mind games, and whatever it is that you have such need for self-validation, they don't need to be a part of this burden that you are carrying. For whatever reasons, it might have been because of some experience you had in the past, or maybe it's because of some hurt that you felt in the past. This constant need to have Facebook likes, this constant need to have Instagram likes, this need to have numbers on your Instagram. All of these things, they need to stop. And you just need to, understand yourself, and you need to go deep inside and find out, why is it that I'm doing these traits? To you guys who are facing troubles, I would just say one thing, that there are a lot of weird ass people out there, and just remember these pointers that I have given you so that you don't end up wasting your time. And I hope that you will end up finding someone genuine. So, these are the traits that you need to look out for so that you don't get fooled. Until next time, guys, please keep writing your issues or any of your suggestions that you have so that I can take them up, so that I can talk about it and help whoever I can. And this is Dikshi auntie this side. This is the StayUncle crib. This is where all the action happens. And I will see you again.